Hi. Now, I find people very unwilling to accept what is really going on, and that it disturbs me slightly because um, you tell them how you see it, and they it appears to be the fact anyway, that the case that they don't even process that information. They just let it skim over and madness. No, he's mad. Oh, no, can't let that in. And I've got to thinking about this. Now, I have a very nice cat, and I have some poultry, and you could definitely say that they were domesticated. Now, I couldn't say how long they would last without my help, because none of them are fastened up, as you would say. They can all roam around, and they're very free to get forage for their own food. Yet that doesn't happen, of course, because they've got so used to me feeding them that they don't really forage for their own food, apart from when I'm digging. When I'm digging, the hen birds of the poultry will come up, and they will. It's very great to see them, but they will pick the worms out of, and I regret to say that quite a few of them are half worms because I've cut them while I was digging. I don't like to do that, but it's unavoidable. So that's just the collateral damage, let's say. So the hen birds will eat the worms, and if there are any cockbirds around, and they're not frightened of me, not most of them anyway, they're very tame, they come up to me, they will, if they see a worm, it's great to watch this, they will make a particular noise that tells the hen birds that there's something here for them, because they don't need to eat a great deal of protein, because all they do is fertilize the eggs, of course. And to grow an egg, it would take a great deal more energy, food, protein, sorry, to grow an egg. And so the cockbirds know that for the continuation of their type, they must produce young. So that is the reason, I would say, that they don't eat. They're not greedy birds. The hen birds definitely are. I wouldn't say they're greedy, but they eat everything that's available to them. Now, this difference between domesticated and wild animals is very plain. Of course, you don't have to feed wild animals. They'll be okay. They'll survive, of course, on their own. Without man, if you take man out of the picture altogether, they would do very well, thank you. In fact, a lot better, probably, in most cases. And that's a little bit how I see now the people who know what's going on. At least we think we know, and the people who have absolutely no bloody idea really what's going on, and they might have a little bit of a taste of something that they think, did they really land on the moon? Or was 9/11 everything they said it was? Well, to me, both cases are absolutely provable to be bullshit. There's absolutely no question, none whatsoever. So they are the domesticated. Now, the domesticated animals that I keep here, it's like if I left, that would be exposing them to the real world, and they wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like it if I didn't turn up with their food every day. And I don't know what might happen to them, but I don't think they'd live. I don't. Well, it's, how could I know? I don't want to put them through that, so I'm never going to do that experiment. But I know cats can kind of live, but they always succumb to, from a kitten anyway, they haven't had their jabs, and they live a horrific life. And well, they turn wild, if you like. They're feral, and that means that their worm burden will be horrific. They'll have all the cat flus, and they've got runny eyes and noses, and they live to me, a very sad and painful life. Never been able to use all the talents that a healthy cat has. The dexterity, the nimble, the energy, all that is gone. Very, very well. It's vastly reduced, shall we say? And I'm afraid that's a lot of people. They are domesticated beyond belief. I'm not no Tarzan of the woods myself. I'm I'm not so self-sufficient. I go out and do shopping to get my food and stuff, most of it anyway. So I'm not claiming to be, some kind of guru and lead the people to self-sufficiency. No, that's not me. I'm not a leader. I'm not a guru. But I can kind of see what's going on, and that's how I can now judge people through being they're either domesticated or they're on the wild side, a bit like me. And so, to make the comparison fully, you would tell them what's going on. It's just like telling my chickens, to them I am their provider, and they would suffer without me. So to the domesticated people, their government and their media, which is all run by the same people, don't think that it isn't. Just look into it. It's all there for them. It's all that's that their lives are predestined. It's all worked out for them. There you go. Thank you very much. Whereas the wild people among us can, when I say wild, I mean, wild. I mean, I don't mean wild. But to make the comparison between wild and domesticated creatures, I consider myself on the wild side, because I don't need the government to tell me what's going on, to tell me bullshit. See, I have many problems with the BBC when they say things, a throwaway sentence like, yes, and when men landed on the moon in 1969, blah, blah. I say, no, why are you lying? Why are you lying to people? Right now, you are lying to people. And the domesticated people will say, oh yeah, they went to the moon. But nobody went to the moon. No secret space bullshit. Don't you understand? Nobody went to the moon. Even though you say, oh, well, yeah, the photograph, the footage, it's all obviously nonsense. The BBC never do that. They never say, well, we can see right through it. Why? Why don't they do that? Because they are so. Well, this is it's the program of indoctrination, and when you listen to that, it's just another layer of indoctrination. Just reinforces the bullshit. that you were meant to believe in the first place. So, in order to become undomesticated, become wild, you have to let go of the your stabilizers. Take your stabilizers off the bike. Take the handrail off the flight of stairs. It sounds dangerous, but it means you can run up and down the stairs without having to hold on to anything, because that's reality. Reality is a big no-no for a lot of people, a lot of these domesticated people. They can't look. They won't look. They don't want it to be true. They don't want the stuff that I'm telling them to be true. And that's the problem they have. In so much that they just dismiss it without even considering it. Now, I know it's a difficult thing. I went through it, of course. I didn't wake up wild. I wasn't born in the jungle, and I've just, like Tarzan, or well, he wasn't born in the jungle. He was just was it a plane crash or something? Anyway, that's just a story. That's a story. It's no more of a less or more of a story than the moon landings, of course, or any of these events like the Boston bombing, Sandy Hook, all those sort of things. Look into them if you don't fucking believe me. And when I say look into them, don't go to the BBC website and say, "Oh, yeah, this is research." That isn't research. I would say, if you want to look into Boston bombings, David Weiss, he's a very good fella. Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH. That's what you want to look at for that. The Boston bombings. He did a fantastic job of that. It's about a 2-hour documentary on proving, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was all a big movie set, and all the people involved were actors. And a lot of the actors were amputees who had limbs off, and mostly leg injuries, or amputated legs below the knee or above the knee. And then they put the prophylactics on to make it, you see, we've seen so many Hollywood films where people's are blown apart, their guts are all over the place, people lose limbs or legs or heads or whatever, and all the tomato sauce bullshit. Right, but we only see a little clip of that. We don't. It's not ever really. We don't see many frames of that going on. Some bloodthirsty types may freeze frame and slowly go through it frame by frame or whatever, but bloody hell. But when you do that with when you look at the Boston bombings, the fake blood remains the same colour throughout the whole of the charade. And if you've ever lost blood or seen blood on the pavement or on the tarmac, what colour does it turn? Yes, brown. And then it kind of goes almost black. But no, that didn't happen at Boston or anywhere where the theatrics are employed, because it's all fake blood and fake limbs blowing off and fake tattered clothing that just wouldn't. And how the fuck do ball bearings in a pressure cooker blow your fucking legs off? It's fucking nonsense, people. And if they lie about the moon landings and the Sandy Hook and Boston bombings, don't you think they might lie about just about everything? Because that's what they do. They'll lie in shits.